Hi everyone, I am Tara and I would like to welcome you all back to my channel, Spirit Mother Teachings of Going Within. Today I chose to talk about natural inner wisdom and paid programmed education. The reason why I chose this topic is because I go on Facebook sometimes and I see people and they have these posts about basically people that have no education and they're sitting at home on welfare. Okay. It really irritates me because those people have no idea why those people are on assistance, welfare, or disability, or what have you. So that's where quick judgment comes in. And I'm here to let you know that paid education does not mean that you're not intelligent. It doesn't mean that you can't go to a job because everybody thinks, oh, you got to have this big education. I'll get to that. Okay. First off, I'm going to start with meanings of natural inner wisdom. Okay. So inner wisdom is knowledge that comes from quieting the mind, as I said, meditation, quieting the mind, sitting with it, setting aside the ego that gets in the way and says, no, I'm in control. You got to go. Like setting aside one's ideas of how things should be and listening and feeling for what is feeling truly right. Okay. Like you can be in an education and say, well, that's not right. And that's because your inner wisdom is saying, whoa, Betsy, hold on. Something don't seem right here. Okay, so now with inner wisdom, it quieting the mind and the meditation, the centering, okay, becoming one and actually listening to your inner self opposed to what's around here. It helps to bring forth your natural instincts, not what somebody tells you, but what you feel. Like I said the other day, what you feel in your body, what feels right to you. If it feels wrong, then it's wrong for you. It doesn't fit you. No matter what somebody says. Okay? So it's your instincts, your inner tuition. Okay? Knowing, not thinking it, but actually knowing it to your core because your body's telling you. Your mind is telling you, your gut is telling you, and if something seems wrong, then you're probably right. It's wrong. And our clairvoyance, our psychic abilities, our telekinesis, sight, mediums, channeling, it all comes from the inner wisdom, the settling. And that's what I've been doing. I've been going with my inner wisdom. And some will say, well, like, you're crazy. Nope. As I said before, we're not crazy. We're just very enlightened and we're connected. Right from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top. Okay, now the meaning of programmed learning, so education, programmed education, it's educational techniques characterized by self-paced, self-administered instructions. So somebody instructs you how to do it. It's not yourself. It's not your inner knowing. It's what somebody else says. It's like a book. Instructions presented in logical sequences. Okay. So it may seem logical, but does it really make sense? And with much repetition of concepts. So education is a more of a repetitive behavior. Okay, in repetitive behavior, it's a learned behavior. You're learning it, so they're programming it. It's being programmed into your mind, and it's usually the way that they say it is. That's with science. We're finding out that, like, okay, everything changes, but education stays the same. It doesn't seem right to me, nor does it feel right. It's like a learned behavior. When we say our children are ADHD or autistic or anything like that, well, okay, if we continue to not address the issues, because they can be, because it's starting off young. It's a program. It's starting off young. So when you change that behavior, then the programming changes. So, so, okay, yep. The programming changes, and some, I can feel that some don't like what I'm talking about right now, and that's okay. Because until I really sat back and I went within myself to find out what it all was, and observing and watching, when we continue to allow a certain behavior, or we continue to program it by not correcting things at an early stage, it's like the seed, it's the tree. The tree has a seed, it grows. So if the tree is not nurtured properly, it grows wrong. It doesn't grow properly. And some would say, what's proper? Well, proper is what feels right for you. And it may not always be right for you. It just may seem right because somebody's telling you that. Well, this is the way this is. Well, no. Everything can change. Nothing is ever the same. It's always changing. Okay? So that's part of the programming. And then when we program and we allow bad habits or destructive behavior, when we allow it to continue and we just kind of dismiss it because it had a label and they say, well, this is the way it is, then what we're doing is we're enabling. We're enabling something that is not growing in a healthy manner. Okay? Now, with regards to the paid education, well, I'm here to tell you, and I'm on disability. And I've looked for jobs and nobody will hire me. And a lot of it is because I'm unique. Because I speak in a different language sometimes. I be myself. So they don't want somebody who wants to be themselves and who should be able to be themselves. They don't want that. It's like a bear walker. The military will program the bear walker out of bear walking so that they walk the same as the rest. So you're not allowed to walk different. You're not allowed to run different. You're not allowed to speak different. You have to be, I am a robot. I do as I'm told. I cannot be different to fit in. Well, I don't want to fit in, and you shouldn't have to feel like you have to fit in. I've had somebody who is said to have autism, and I'm not throwing shade because I think it's cool that they can get jobs, but they're not able to keep them. But they go and they get repetitive jobs. But because there's a label on them, and the people know this, it's easier for them to get a job. Why, I don't know. But I think it's good that they can get a job. And some of us, we find it very hard to find a job because we are different. And that's okay. Because I'm happy to be a misfit. Because I don't want to be that person that is told, well, no, you can't walk this way. You got to walk this way. So that's paid programming. You're taught, you do it this way. Even if it's that way because they feel it's that way. But when you try to correct them, a lot of the time, whoo, hot doggity dog, they get irate. But your theory is not supposed to be right because you're not a teacher and you didn't write a book. So with regards to the people saying about people with no education and not working and stuff like that, I may not have a diploma, but I have my certificate. And the reason why I didn't have a diploma is because, let's see, in keyboarding with Microsoft Word, I got a 69. The pass was 70. And in Excel, which I wasn't going to use, I got a 64. But the rest, 77, 70, 81, 74, 74, 87, 74, 87, 88, 76, 83. And guess what? I took that course as a mature student because I only had a grade 8 education. How'd I do that? Because I never read anything to pass that course. I never studied. Visual audio learner. I learned by experience. Observation. You don't have to continue to be repetitive with something to learn it because it's already in here. It's already in here. It's in you. Right and wrong. What fits? It's like putting a puzzle together. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. But I want people to keep in mind, okay, think of back years ago when we were building houses and buildings and what have you. They were built like brick shed houses, right? Right. Now, we got all these regulations and laws and, oh, you got to pay to have this done and this done and this done. And Jack can't build his own house anymore because of safety regulations. That's what I heard, yeah. Because they say safety regulations. If you look at our stuff that's built today, how many safety regulations do you actually see? Only because they put it on a piece of paper and they say it's got to be built this way. But you have a storm. How many places are almost demolished? The places that are built like brick shit houses, they stand up. But the ones that we build nowadays out of press board, because that's what it is. Your house is built out of press board if it's fairly new. and it doesn't stand up to crap. The roofs are blowing off. Our sheds are blowing all the rat poop because they're made of nothing, but you're paying a fortune for them. And that's all because of a paid program, not someone's natural instincts, the knowing. Our ancestors knew it. And yes, they did put stuff in, but they were building stuff to last. And the stuff we have now, it doesn't last. And then you see these old buildings that were built like brick shit houses. They're being torn down because, oh, it's out of date. Fix it. Instead of tearing it down, because by the time you tear it down and you rebuild, but they'll say, oh, well, it's cheaper to rebuild. How is it cheaper to rebuild? You got to demolish. Just go in and fix what you got if it's built strong. Why tear something down that works, that just needs fixing? We tear down our bodies. To fix it. But we don't tear down the structure. We go from the inside out. Okay, so that was at Maritime Business College. That was in 2004. I got done that. 2005, I worked for a law firm. Was doing pretty good. And then I got in a car accident. And I couldn't work for years. And I still couldn't work now because, well, they call it mental health issues, but I call it enlightenment. And it becomes really tough sometimes to even keep your head on straight because there's so much going on. So that's why I'm starting my own workspace to be a healer, a natural Reiki healer, energy healing with crystals and rocks, and I have tarot cards and what have you. Okay, now, okay. In 2013, I went to Dalhousie. I paid, like, I don't have the receipts, but I paid almost $1,000 for each course. And I took 6 of them. And I did it within 3 months. And they were really surprised because they said, like, it usually takes people from a year, sometimes 2 years to do it. And in so doing, I got my certificate in leadership development. My certificate in negotiation and conflict resolution. So this is a message for the people that say about other people on assistance and not having an education. You might want to know what you're talking about before you start throwing shade on people and ridiculing them because they need assistance. Because I'm here to tell you, I know some of you who have been on assistance that ridicule people for being on assistance. Think about that one. I wasn't programmed. That was all natural. That was within me. Because like I said, I didn't really take notes. I didn't study. It was all my internal wisdom, the wisdom that I have from eons of experience, because we've all been here more than once. And we've all experienced, because I said before, our spirit is always traveling. That's why we have deja vus. It's because we've been there. Our body may not have been there at that moment, but our spirit was. Okay, so this is one of the ones I did. Personal leadership. Leading the self before leading others. So learning yourself. Not looking for followers, but for leading yourself so that you're able to lead others. And then you can teach others. The Leadership Development Workshop. Resolving workplace conflict. Mediation. Breaking the impasse. Effective negotiation. In negotiating and influencing skills. Become a master presenter. I paid $6,000 for that. My paid education. Even when you show this, I applied for NSCC, and I have to show a diploma or a GED. I don't believe that they accept those now. Because you got to send your grades in. Just kidding. I had somebody tell me, who's 77, back in their day, grade 12 education was a really big education. You could get any job you wanted. Okay? Because it was more experience and hands-on. Now, you're lucky if you can get a job at McDonald's or a gas station. Because I've looked, and a lot of them say, grade 12, unless you're a student. Grade 12, to flip a burger, to throw fries in a fat fryer. So, back in 2020, when I first started having my enlightenment, I had been gone to Alberta because I wasn't well, and I come home and I start doing a lot of research, and I wasn't getting a lot of sleep. And I hadn't slept in like 2 days. Okay. And this one night, 3:30 in the morning, I decided to go into Brain, Meterix, Intuitive. It's an IQ research, personality, and intelligence assessment tool. I paid for it. I got I have a grade 8 education. And people throw shade on that. Think of it. Our ancestors, a lot of them only had grade 2. But they did great things. They had great jobs. Some of them were even entrepreneurs. Just because they didn't have the book smarts didn't mean that they didn't have the life smarts, the inner wisdom, the true nature of education. Because it's the Akasha records. So, general intelligence. I was never good at reading or spelling. And guess what? Neither are a lot of lawyers or doctors. But they have their degree. Mishka? It's a certificate in recognition for success completion of the BMI certified IQ test with the following score. It was done on March 28th, 2020. Keep in mind, I hadn't slept for 2 days. And this was at 3:30 in the morning. I scored an IQ of 113. It's average. It's almost above average because 115 is considered above average. They say la escalate. What are you doing? And I was doing that on no sleep. Hello there, son. Would I be able to do it again? Who knows? Things change. Now, this is what the IQ test measures. Okay? This is all paid for. So if it's paid for, it's all got to be right? Think about it. We all think that just because we paid for something, that it's got to be right. Well, no, it doesn't. Because it's in here. The true nature, the true inner wisdom is within you. It's not in a book. Some people write it. But that's their inner. And sometimes it's what works for them. It may work for them, but it doesn't work for someone else. And sometimes people are doing things the hard way and somebody that's got an easier way. Well, no, it's going to be this way. Why? Why does people think that everything has to be so intense and so labor body straining for it to be right? Because it doesn't. Things can be done better, more productive, time management, a better product. If we started opening it up and allowing other people to put their ideas and their inner wisdom, because they may have done this before, but because they don't have a book smart for it, oh, no, you know nothing. I went to university. I know everything more than you because you got a grade 8 education. That means shit. Okay? I'm not saying that it's not good to have an education, but you also got to remember that you have to let the inner wisdom be the front lead. Because it's your intuition, it's your gut, it's your intuitiveness, it's your clairvoyance, it's things that you know already. You know how to do it. It's just settling the mind and going within, and it will come to you. That's why things come out of you and you don't know how you know it. Some things you do, it's like you can look at something and somebody is reading the instructions and they're not getting it, and you just look and it's like, no, okay, this is how it goes. And you walk over and you click it together. But you didn't read the instructions. Maybe you didn't even do it before, or maybe you did. So it's a matter of people stepping back and allowing other people, because we're all one and we all can work together, but we all choose to say, I'm smarter than you because I have this and you don't. Okay, so %34 of the population rates in their IQ between 100 and 114. Okay, so the above average goes from 115 to 129. That's 14% of the population. Okay, I'm going to show you that. Okay, this is what this metric meter thing looks like. Okay, And if you're not interested, don't watch. Okay, this is the percentage for the IQs. Okay, so above 144 is highly gifted, 130 to 144 is gifted, 115 to 129 above average, 85 to 114 is average, 70 to 84 below average, below 70 lowest extreme. Okay, now back I think it was 2007, they did an IQ thing on me there. Kind of, I guess it was like an IQ. They said I scored an 89. What? An 89, but this is saying this. Well, so the assessment analysis. Okay, so the scores, if you get 1 to 2 points, 10% of the like 10%. Okay, 3 to 5 is 62% of people. 6 to 7 points is 21% of people. 8 points is 7% of people. Keep that in mind. Okay. Now, assessment and analysis, visual preparation, preparation. Told you I couldn't read very well, but oh well. I learned by experience. Visual perception, your score, 8. See? It's exceptional. But people say, oh, you didn't see that. Like, no. I see it. Okay, so in abstract reasoning, scores 1 to 2 points, 12%. 3 to 5 points, 62%. 6 to 7 points, 22%. 8 points, 4% for this one. See? Okay. Now I scored 4 points. So I'm average on that. Abstract reasoning. Sometimes I can be very stubborn. And sometimes, well, visual perception and abstract reasoning, it's different. It's being able to really see shapes and stuff like that, and like things, and being able to understand it. And it's just not me, because I mean average, but it's not me, because that's not my soul's journey. That's not what my soul is here for. Pattern recognition. 1 to 2 points, 12%. 3 to 5 points, 58%. 6 to 7 points, 19%. 8 points, 11%. Okay. And I scored a 3, so I'm still in average. Okay. Subtile orientation. I can't pronounce that word, but I'll put it up so you can. So the scores for that is 1 to 2 points is 11%. 3 to 5 points is 61%. 6 to 7 points is 24%. 8 points is 4%. Okay. I'm putting this up there. I just had somebody, like, why are you putting this up there? I'm putting it up there to show people that because you perceive something one way, because you don't know the whole story, then you're judging something by what you not know. Like correcting me? It's okay. Because I'm not here to be perfect. I'm here to be authentic. Well, for that, I scored an 8. Exceptional. So whether I can read that, obviously I understand it. Analytical thinking. 1 to 2 points, 12%. 3 to 5 points, 57%. 6 to 7 points, 23%. 8 points, 8%. Okay? So on that, I got an exceptional. So apparently, I'm good at analytical thinking. Outside the box. Decide. So out of 5, I got 3 8s out of 5, and the other 2 were average. Okay? I didn't do the personality because in actuality, your grades don't make your personality. Your IQ don't necessarily make your personality, because you could be pretty smart and have a really shitty personality. Just because you're smart doesn't mean you're nice. Sometimes it can be more ego-based. But what I'm saying is, when we say about education, got to have your education, got to have your education. Well, that's what they say now, because that's the only way you can get any jobs. So I say, why not figure out what it is that you're really good at, inner wisdom, and work on that. Because the stuff we learn in school, if you look, it's actually not stuff that you use in your everyday life. It's not stuff that actually teaches you survival. Natural instincts. It teaches you at school right now. I've seen it, and it's a lot more of, if you look in the schools, kids are fighting with each other, and teachers are treating kids like crap, and kids are treating teachers like crap because nobody's giving anybody any respect anywhere. Kids are getting bored because it's not something that they're interested in. And we say, well, it's knowledge. Well, it's not the kind of knowledge that our kids are looking for. And a lot of the time, our kids are only doing things for us. It's not for them. It's to make us happy because we're living vicariously through them. Not all of us, but some of us. And some of us we're learning to teach our children natural things, how to go with their instincts, their guts, and things like that. And and sometimes we're teaching our kids, like, even if we had a mouthful to say, or we had something important to say, it's like, go away. We have company. Kids aren't allowed there. Why? Aren't they people too? We're putting them in a school. And look at them, look at the schools. I hear of a lot of parents that are irate. But a system says you're not allowed to homeschool them. And your kids aren't allowed to go to school unless they have a needle in their arm. So how is this programming right compared to your natural self? Tree, and sometimes they manipulate plants and stuff now. So they're deformed and they're like unique in ways, but in others, it's like, whoa, really strange. But when we're being told to walk this way, or you got to do it this way, and we're going to drill it in your head until you have it there, so you can't find your own natural instincts, your own natural abilities, and come up with the answer yourself. We're going to give you the answer that we have, and by gosh, you're going to learn it. You're going to know it, whether it's right or wrong. They're finding out that a lot of stuff that we've learned in school, it's not right. It's not true. It's been manipulated to work for someone else's agenda or someone else's profit. So I showed you my certificates and my IQ assessment and what have you, to point out that don't judge a book by its cover, because you don't know what's inside of it. It may be true, it may not. And don't think the first thing that you hear is gospel. I went on Facebook today, and this person, they put up oh well, crap. Just one sec. Okay. So what they did was they put up a thing on Facebook that they got off of who knows where. I'll know in a minute. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay. This was the post. Okay. It says, bug alert. Look out for the following additives in your foods: dried crickets, whole and ground mealworms. Well, they've been putting mealworms in our stuff for a long time. Whole and grounded grasshoppers, whole and grounded crickets. They're going to be added to your foods. Make sure you check ingredients before buy. It says here at the top of it, with the bug alert thing, it says, humans cannot digest bugs. Get informed. Well, isn't it true that I'm here to say that that is a misinformation. Okay? Because after seeing that, I went in and did my own research. And this is what I got on 21 Bites. Okay? And our ancestors have been doing it. So it says, edible insects are not a new food trend, as they have been eaten since the beginning of mankind. Okay? The beginning of mankind. How long have we been really eating cows and goats or chickens? Has it been since the beginning of time? Mankind? But we've been eating bugs. However, eating insects has become taboo in the Western world, where animal proteins have become the protein of choice. Now, people from all over the world are recognizing the advantages edible insects can offer, from less methylene production to quick reproduction and high protein levels. It turns out that edible insects are better sources of protein than meat. Who knew? You know now. And insects are free. They scam. 5 reasons edible insects are better than meat. Protein content. The protein content of insects. Various other forms of meal is compatible depending on the species. In some species, protein content was as high as 81%. Whoa. Mind-blowing. Essential amino acids. There are 9 essential amino acids humans require to sustain life. And all 9 are found in edible insects of varying levels. Oh my, I didn't read this far. All 9 amino acids are not available in plant-based proteins. So acknowledging insects as a life-sustaining alternative to meat and eggs is significant. Insects offer a readily available source of complete proteins. Okay, so we're going and we're spraying insecticides on stuff that could actually be food because it's eating the food for the cows and pigs and chickens and what have you, leaving no food for the people, including the stuff that we have to grow, because most fields are growing stuff to feed the animals that you eat. I eat fish. I was eating chicken. I eat eggs. I used to eat beef and stuff like that, but I don't anymore. And I haven't for a year and a half, 2 years. I tried chicken a few times. The last time, like I said, that I tried it, I had a really bad reaction to it. Like, whoa, get it out of my body. So I just started pounding back fruit. Would I eat bugs? I've probably eaten quite a few in my lifetime. Maybe I didn't know it, but I have. And so have you. Okay. Now, minerals. Edible insects are rich in many minerals, such as phosphorus. Oh my gosh, I can't pronounce that word. PHOS, PHOROUS. If somebody caught that, write it down and let me know what the word. Well, I'll look it up later. Your iron, calcium, zinc, copper, magnesium, and manganese. Can't pronounce that either. These minerals aid the body in many functions. Okay, so we're taking vitamins that come in insects. So we're paying again. And these are all the main vitamins that they tell you you need. Digestible. Chitin, is what exoskeletons of some insects are composed of. And it is doubtably whether or not humans can easily digest exoskeletons. A lot of research says yes, we can. Either way, insect protein is easier to digest than other forms of protein, especially when the exoskeleton is cooked or removed. Just because, like, can't throw shade on people who eat insects if you eat other animals. Number 5, eco-friendly. Inarguably, the best reason that edible insects are a better source of protein than meat is that the production of insects protein from start to finish is more earth-friendly. It requires less space, less chemicals, and less time to create and recreate the protein because they're always reproducing. Whereas cattle and that, well, you got the answer for that. The space and chemicals reproduction reduced the carbon footprint of the edible insect industry component to the raising and butchering of livestock. Okay, it's not because I'm vegetarian or anything like that, because I eat fish. Maybe later I should go eat a bug, but I can't eat a live bug because I had a hard time killing it. I actually talked to the bugs. And I went fishing one day and I was told to put a worm on. And as I started putting the worm on, I didn't even get it on the hook. And I put it kind of through its side and I freaked out like, oh, because I could feel it. I could hear it. And if I go buy fish, I didn't do it. And fishing, I don't even know if I could do that. What I do if I caught a fish. The time and efficiency with which insects grow and reproduce can answer the foodly supply problem of the growing population of Earth. You can look off edible insects as a better source. You can look at edible insects as a better source of protein than meat from a nutritional standpoint or a globalized conscious view without health risks for us. Because, well, you run the risk of the pesticides on the bug, someone said. Okay, on the bug. But how many pesticides are going in your animal that you're eating? Right? They also taste really good. You have to try them. Or what have you. People eat ants and we think, oh, you guys are disgusting. I knew people that fried worms. But at first I thought it was disgusting. And then it's like, well, each to their own. If they're going to eat worms and they like them, they like them. There's stuff that you like. So that's where I'm putting that out there. That's a misinformation of what that person posted. Because it said right there. And no, you don't always believe what you say, but you know it in your core. And this and a lot of this stuff, like there's stuff that's true. And there's stuff that's not true. And it's stuff like this that's causing a division. Because we're not getting the right education of our ancestors we're getting a programmed education. Stuff that doesn't even, like home ec, all that stuff that taught cooking and sewing and stuff like that. Industrial arts, tech ed, like you made stools and stuff like that. I don't know how many schools still do it, but that's more what we need to focus on, teaching our children how to build things, build them right, stuff that will last. We got all this stuff that we keep producing and producing and producing, and it's sitting on the shelves, or people are taking it back because it's a piece of crap. And then we're wondering why we have so much junk. It's because nothing is made with quality anymore. It's not made with the heart and the spirit and the soul that things used to be done, how they were done. People making quilts all the time and stuff like that. That's all gone in a lot of situations, especially in the Western world. Because it's all pushed. You gotta be this way. You gotta be that way. You can't be an individual and think for yourself. You gotta let somebody else think for you. You gotta let somebody else do the work. Well, I'm here to tell you, you can probably do the work better if you just took the time and you went inside and looked at yourself. I said that I'm starting my own healing. My own healing business. It's going to start slow, but I know that when it does take off, it's going to take off. I have somebody that I did a healing on them a couple nights ago, and I got a message from them today saying, last night saying, when's our next process? Like, when's the next healing? So I told them tonight. And I wait. Right now, I'm waiting till it's dark, because I have specific lighting to calm the body, to calm the mind, to calm the spirit, the soul, the heart, to just to just be able to let go and be with oneself in the moment, in the inner self, so that you can gather your own thoughts instead of having so many come, oh, this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. No, it's not that way. This guy. So, like I said earlier, this is why I chose this topic. And if you stayed in and watched, I say thank you very much. Even if you didn't stay in and watch, I say thank you very much, because at least you took the time to step in to see what it was all about. Even if you didn't like what I had to say, that's okay. It's all about bringing the truth out, because it will help you to grow. And it's the meditation, it's the being still. And meditation doesn't mean you have to sit here and go Om all the time. Meditation is just being out somewhere with yourself, being with one's self in the quiet, in the nature, with the birds, the sounds, because that's where your DNA, that's where your inner self is going to come through, your intuition. You will then be able to feel if it's right. Because just because they say logical doesn't mean it makes sense. They say think, logic, and reason. Well, sometimes there's no reason. It just is. They say, okay? So I want to thank you again for coming in. I wish you all a great evening. And I want you all to be big, bold, brave. Most importantly, be yourself. Never give up. Keep going. Always be kind to yourself and to others, even if others don't seem to be kind to you. Sometimes we just need to kill them with kindness. That's all they need. It's kindness and sometimes understanding. Quisiera montare sí. Victoria shkan kuya daen sule. Esake tue esikito butukti la imkurai. Victoria esukriai esuke. Bikishkulea sere. Biketo dariata sile esukle. Bikiton be centered. I'm sending you all much love, light, many blessings, and most importantly, very good health to anyone and everyone wanting, willing to accept it. I love you all, and I wish you all a great evening. And if I don't see you before the weekend, have an awesome weekend. And get out in nature and do that oneness so that you can use your inner wisdom. Love you.